Hey, what's up everyone? Hope you guys doing great. So I've made tons of videos on trend breaks and received a lot of positive response, but the most common question I get is what's the right way to make a trend? Or they ask, what is it that when I make a trend it doesn't work, but when you do it does? Or how do I know if it's a good trend? So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down very key components to look for, which will help you increase your win rate and find better quality setups, which means more wins and less losses. So let's get started. All right, so the number one example I have is UPST stock, which happened just the other day. There was this trend break right here, and this one did not work. It did not fail. But then there was another trend break right here, and then this one just worked perfectly, and then it just broke down and then worked perfectly. However, somebody took a trend break right here and it didn't fail. They took a loss and eventually stock went down and caused a lot of frustration. So here I'm going to show you what was the difference between these two trends, the one that worked and the one that didn't. Well, the key is the trend break works the best once it hits a key support or resistance, then it breaks down. So what that means is that you need to look for the previous resistance levels. So notice here, right here, this is the resistance level, the pre-market level, support, resistance, and then there's another resistance, and then there's another resistance right here. So there are three lines. Notice what here happened in this trend break. It did not touch those resistance, but once it did touch the resistance right here, so notice if I draw another one, so notice what happened. It hit those resistance levels and then broke down. Okay, so this one works better. Here it did not hit. It needs to first hit those resistance levels, a key level, then break down. That's when it works the best. That's the number one. Always make sure that when there's a trend break, it's hitting those key resistance and failing and then breaking down. That's the number one. Number two is time of the day. So there's another example in PLTR. Notice here there's this trend break right here. Okay, it kind of worked, but then it just worked a little bit and then reversed. Okay, well, why? The reason why is because the time of the day is not good. This is a lunch time, so this is a power hour, first 2 hours in the market, and then these are the next 3 hours of the market, and then this is whole day, the last hour, which is called a power hour, right? Power hour, lunch time, which is break. Okay, and then this is a morning session. So morning session, break, lunch time, and then there's a power hour. You either want to take in the morning or you want to take in the power hour, but not during the lunchtime break. So in this here, it happened in lunchtime break, so that's why you didn't get a full follow through. It did work a little bit, but not completely. That's why you don't want to trade on the lunchtime. Notice here in the morning you had a really nice follow through, right? But during the day, during the break, it just chopped around. All right. And then notice here what happened. Actually, in the end of the day, it did work a little bit. There was a trend break right here, and then it failed, and it kind of gave you another move. But the whole idea is to not trade during lunchtime. Don't trade trend breaks during lunchtime. That's number two. Number three is if the stock is in play. Stock is in play means that if the stock, what that means basically, it's that if the stock has a good news or a bad news, basically it has some catalyst news. What that means is that if the stock has a catalyst or have some news, the stock is in play, which means that a lot of people are watching. If there are a lot of people watching, the trend breaks or the patterns work the best because there are more people going to react to that. So for example, Dash had a had a earnings the night before, so it gapped up in the morning. So then naturally a lot of people are going to be watching that stock that day. And notice here what happened. So now we're going to add all the things that we learned just now. The first thing is that there's this support right here, which was the pre-market. Okay, the stock breaks down and then it does a trend line. So notice here there's this trend line right here. Okay, so trend breaks. So this is a good shorting opportunity right here. So let's just clean it up one time. I want to make it sure it's as clear as possible. So first thing it does, it has this resistance. The stock hits this resistance, okay, and then does a clean trend break. So I'm gonna white it out. Notice here there's a clean trend break, and once it breaks right here, there's a great shorting opportunity because as a trend break, the stock had a catalyst, and that's why it gave you a really big move because a lot of people are watching it. Okay, a lot of people watching it. Let's look at another example. Exact same thing happened here the next day as well on Dash. So there's this first of all resistance, which is the pre-market resistance level. Look here, right here, resistance level, right? The stock comes down to the resistance level, pretty much close by, and then does a trend break. Okay, now another tip is that not just a trend break, but notice here this also made a head and shoulder, head, shoulder, and head again. So this is a head and shoulder pattern, which is a bearish pattern, and then the stock continued down. So this would be a great shorting opportunity at the trend break right here. Okay, at the break of trend. So three things. Number one is trend break works the best once it hits a key support level and then breaks the trend. Time of the day, you don't want to trade during lunchtime. And if the stock is in play, means it has a catalyst or news that day, or anything that makes a lot of people watch that stock, then the pattern works the most. All right, guys, so that's it. Hope you guys learned something new, and if you did, make sure you like and subscribe, and let me in the comments below what you like to know more. All right, take care. Bye.